like Bitcoin, like the freedom concept of not being reliant on a bank or some kind of central poweralized structure, whatever you want to call it. But a lot of people like to use bet coins for gambling, sports betting, stuff like that. So let me give you my 2 cents on that real quick and tell you some experiences I had. And unfortunately, some of them are negative. I would say about 50-50. And I would say any casino would try some of these tactics. For example, I don't know if you guys saw the movie Casino back in the day with Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci. But you remember when there was like a Chinese guy there, he won $1 million, and then he tried to take the money and fly back to China. And Robert De Niro used his connections at the airport to basically delay his flight, make him stay another day. And the guy wind up losing $3 million total. The $1 million he won and another 2 of his own. So that's what a lot of these websites try to do. Like SatoshiCircle. They would say we need at least 2 confirmations before your Bitcoins are validated, which means you can't transfer them to another website until they can authenticate your Bitcoins actually arrive there. So you could play instantly. As soon as you send the money, you see your account credited almost instantly. Might be 2-3 minutes, whatever, but the money's there. But until they confirm that the money actually got there, you can't take it out. And I also think that, like for example, I remember I sent like, let's say, like $600 worth of Bitcoins, like 0.8 Bitcoins. And what happened was, I just said, hey, I'm a gambling man. I want to do this one bet. I was stupid. Did a stupid bet. But I said, hey, I want to just bet. And I went on the 2x table in SatoshiCircle. If you haven't gone there, it's just like a big wheel. And they each, wherever it lands, you either double your money or basically lose it all. So, and you got about a 48% chance that the house has, well, I'll say about, with that, probably about a 40% chance the house has the edge with the 10%. So, I won. I basically doubled my money and said, okay, I'm done. I got 1.6 Bitcoins now. I want to take my money and go. Try to withdraw it, and it wouldn't let me. So I said, okay, it needs 2 confirmations. So that could take about 15-20 minutes. So came back about an hour later, tried to withdraw the money. The same error was coming up. It was saying needs at least 2 confirmations. But my money was still there. Still there. And the little thing was coming on the screen and saying place bet. So what I did was I moved the bar all the way to indicate I don't want to bet anything. Spun the wheel and it went 2x again. 2x. So I was like, man, maybe I should bet again. Maybe I should. But I said, you know what? I don't want to bet. I want my money back. So what I eventually did was I put something like $3 or $4 on there. And the whole time, mind you, I'm trying to keep taking my money out. Wouldn't let me. So I think I put $3 or $4 on it, lost it. And then all of a sudden, it allowed me to withdraw my money. So I think there was saying I have to spin the wheel twice. But I think that since I won that much, I would say that would have to have been programmed in there. Like they wanted the average person would keep going or put up 20% of that. Well, this is all house money, so let me see what But I said, no, I did my crazy gambling for the day. That's enough. Let me take my money out. And with a normal casino, you can. But I would say with SatoshiCircle, I think they purposely did that. And that's an old school casino gambling technique. The other issue I had with SatoshiCircle was just going down. And you just not being able to access your account at all. This recently happened to me. I have 0.87 Bitcoins in there again. And I probably started with like 0.4 or point 3. Well, no. I went from another gambling site. I was sports betting a little bit. You know, I like to gamble every now and again. But I started with 0.3 Bitcoins at the other site. Triple my 0.223, and then I got it up to 0.87, which is around $600-700, whatever the value of Bitcoin is. Maybe about $650, $600. So sent it to SatoshiCircle. Then the site just went down. Couldn't withdraw my money. So I waited a day or two. Site still giving me the same error. Not able to take my money out. Okay, so I go on their Facebook page. Email them, hey, what's going on? They say, hey, we having some trouble. We'll be back shortly. More days go by. Now it's about 4 or 5 days. Steady, making comments. Hey, my money's tied up. Need my money. And then they say, we'll be back very shortly. Like they made it seem like that day. Another 2 days go by. Nothing. So eventually, you know what? I said, hey, I'm a blogger. You know what I'm going to do? Put you guys on blast. So I go on Twitter, Facebook. I'm emailing these guys. They say, hey, we need to confirm you did it. I say, hey, I have my secret URL code. I can tell you where the Bitcoins came from, the account number they're going to. Send me the money, So I have to jump through all these hoops. So they didn't do it. They kept sending me the runaround. So what I did was I went everywhere on the internet I could. And by this time, it's about 2 weeks now. About a week and let's say 5 days. So I go everywhere on the internet. Twitter, Facebook, forums, Instagram, whatever. And I just bash these people. I say, hey, they stole my money. These guys are scammers. It's been 2 weeks. And they said, the servers are down. No data was lost. We just need to basically run a recovery. And, that should take hours, 3-4 hours tops. But they just kept giving me the runaround. And I just felt like, man, what if they just take my money and I'm just shit out of luck? I'm screwed. So that's how I feel about it. Now I don't feel so. It could have been a data loss, but for it to be this long, let me tell you a couple of things. Basically, the bottom line is incompetence. So whether they actually are having issues, and let me tell you another story about another company. I build websites for some people. I help people make their websites. And just over the years, I've seen hosting companies that can charge $32 a year. And I mean, that might be acceptable for let's say a real estate agent or a music producer or somebody who's, a smaller type website. But and the reason why I knew they went with the $32 hosting company is their website went down. This isn't SatoshiCircle. This was another website. Their website went down. And do you know what a Fayetcon is? That's right now you're watching this YouTube video. If you look in the tab where it says youtube.com and the name of the video, where you see a little symbol. It looks like it's a red box with should have a white play symbol, and that's YouTube's basically logo, and it's in every tab that YouTube has up on a website. So basically, I saw this really cheap hosting company's logo up there where they had the error message, cannot reach server, blah blah blah, 502, bad gateway. But then they had the cheap hosting company's Fayetcon. So I'm like, man, I don't even want to tell you guys who they were hosting with, not in the snitching, telling people's business. But I want you guys to be aware of what could happen, where they should have had their own dedicated server. They should have been spending about $3 to $5 grand a year minimum on hosting, probably around 10 or 20. Because this site, like I said, these sites, they should have an edge. They claim to have a 3 or 4% edge. So with the type of traffic they should get, they should be making a couple $100 grand a year. So these people were paying $32 a year, the cheapest hosting they could find. And of course, it's not going to support that kind of bandwidth. Of course, it's not going to support that medium amount of people. But the point of me telling you that is, you don't know who's running these sites. Now, let's just say that these guys aren't scammers. Let's just say they are the best people in the world. I mean, just as far as morals go. We don't know what kind of programmers they are. We don't know how secure our money is. So these guys can just be network idiots. So you might be going on a betting website, and you know, your money just disappears the next day. You have no idea who these guys are, where these guys are. And if they take your money and run, there's no way to catch them. And it can be, sometimes they're kids. I'm not saying SatoshiCircle is, but this could be a 14-year-old computer geek in China somewhere. And if he just decides one day his mom takes his laptop or he goes on punishment, you know, your money's gone. What can you do? You know, there's no extradition in China to the United States. And how are you going to find this guy? So, I mean, you have just to be aware of that. And even like sites that look really good, like BitBet.com, let me tell you what happened with them. It basically was the same type of thing. I placed some bets, won some money, and when I try to withdraw, they do it manually. So there's a physical person that needs to take my account and physically send it to a wallet. So I'm thinking I'm going to instantly get my money, because Bitcoin, that's the whole thing with Bitcoins. It's a digital currency. So you don't need a human being. It should be instant money. But the point of BitBet doing that is to delay you, so you gamble some more, you lose some more money, and they don't have to pay you out. Because eventually, if you gamble long enough, you will lose. So, you know, I'm all about numbers and quick in and out like assassins. That doesn't work all the time. A lot of times I do lose. I really don't need to be betting at all. But, you know, I like to have a little fun sometimes. So, I'm just letting you guys know, like, BitBet did the same thing. It took me almost a week to get my money. I had to actually call them. They sound like they were in a Dominican Republic. Nobody spoke English. Another offshore place that doesn't extradite. So I have no way of forcing them to. But we don't know what problem is. But really, they just want you to gamble some more on their site. Lose the money that you want. So I'm just saying, man, be careful. You don't know. So that's why, when it comes to Bitcoin betting, nowadays, because think about it. Companies that we could trust, companies that we know who the CEO is, we know where they live, they've gone to the best school, they still do crooked stuff. So these people are completely 100% anonymous. And you just trust them to do the right thing, to not skimp, to have the best hardware, to have the most security, to just pay you your money. Come on now. You know, these are notoriously crooked people that run casinos and stuff like that. These are scammers and gangsters. And, you know, that's gambling brings in those type of people. And a lot of the people are gamblers themselves. I've heard of websites, me being in the community, of people taking people's payout money and gambling it. So, like, for example, and I'm not saying SatoshiCircle did this, but let's say they took their site down and let's say they had 100 grand in the accounts receivable and 100 grand worth of bets just in the Bitcoin wallets waiting. Let's just say they just put it all on the Super Bowl. Hey, I know Denver's going to win. Denver lost. Everybody thought Peyton Manning was going to win. What did he do? He was the greatest season in history of the NFL, but lose the Super Bowl. I mean, what are the odds of that happening? But still, I mean, who knows? So I had to curse these people out, threaten them. Luckily, I'm a blogger, and they kind of saw where I was headed. So, I mean, they sent me my money, but it's countless people who don't have their money yet. I don't trust these people. And it can be one guy who's got 2 or 3 other sites. They could already have another site up and running. They could hire bloggers like me to give them positive reviews, and they could already had a site up for 6 months. So if one site goes down, they just put all the resources into the next one, and they just take your money and start the whole thing over again. A different country. You see the movie Runner. I mean, that's basically what it's about. So I don't trust this. I would not be betting anymore. SatoshiCircle, BitBet, stay away from them. But that just, I wouldn't say that's them per se, but it's just a culture. And casinos just try to do stuff like that. So don't trust them. But hey, those are just my 2 cents. Telling you what happened to me. Being honest, can't be mad at me for telling you what happened. Alright, you guys, take out Ace.